I'm right on the edge.
I'm
Hi,
sorry.
everybody.
This gets me pumped every time. Hi, people.
I know that's how it's just that metal music, that little bit you want to go like dun, 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 dun. Like I used to really like the Mikey. I still like the Mikey Mason music that we used to have, but
I do too. I mean, he's a good guy.
Yeah, got to hang with him this weekend. That was nice. I'm sure we will talk about that today as we
Yes,
talk
we
about
will.
the geeky stuff that has happened to us this weekend and this week, and there's news to talk about. So, how's Ash doing today?
I am doing good. I had to drive all the way out by Pittsburgh, Kansas, and fly a site for one of my coworkers. I had to dip into his area over in Missouri and fly a site for him. But other than that, I don't know who voluntold me at work, but I got an invite for this committee I get to be on next year. All right, a culture committee for American Tower, where we help build camaraderie and culture for the people at American Tower. Yeah, I'm the guy you want on that fucking committee.
Wow, they don't know how bad they fucked up.
Sometimes I wonder if the rest of the world knows an Ash that we don't know. Like they're like, you seem like a fine, respectable guy that could go over and defuse this situation. Yeah.
So I had to sit in on an hour-long, I actually was like 40-minute long team meeting on that one. On, we need to start developing ideas of what we're going to do to foster, the team. And the stupid thing is that, okay, you have corporate and all this stuff like that back in the offices on the East Coast. And then you have all of us out here who are remote workers. There's 4 of us in the state and we're all remote. I don't really know how we're all going to get together for a frickin' barbecue. Because I know they ain't paying for the plane ticket for that crap.
I was going to put something in chat, but I decided against that. It's too much work to try to pay attention and talk and all that.
Well, you should be able to do it on your phone and pump it over.
I can. When I say too much work, I meant I'm too fucking lazy to do it right now. That's what I meant.
Oh, okay. I was approaching that candle from the other side. Sorry.
No, I was trying to listen to what you were saying. I was going to type, and it's like I'm going to put my face right up. I'm good.
What do you want me to type?
Nothing. We're good. Let's shit and chat because I know we're going to chat about TsunamiCon that we just did the last weekend. Chat about some of the things that happened there. I know I want to chat about some stuff going on with Dungeons and Dragons and different things going on.
Funny, Ash. Funny.
What he put. Nothing. We're good. Matter of fact, I was going to talk about the Spider-Verse. I want to talk about Hasbro's fire sale and damn it, I have one other big thing to talk about. I'm trying to think of what it was. And some gaming stuff because we just did a gaming con. So what was the other thing I'd mentioned you on the phone other than D&D?
I don't know. We talked.
It was Harry Potter controversy.
Yeah.
It was controversy, and I hated it, but I feel like I should at least bring it up because I'm just enough of removed to not care. But
what's the controversy, man?
It's they're casting for the new show, right?
Oh, there's a new show? Oh, of course there's going to be a new show. They're going to milk that cow till it's dead. And then
so I guess I can hit this bit of news. I'll wait on this bit of news. No, I'll hit it. Screw it. Why not? Let's jump right into it.
All right.
So they're doing the new Harry Potter show, right? They said that this it's going to be a series, I believe on HBO or something. I can't remember what, but and I could easily misquote some stuff here because as we all know on this channel, Harry Potter is not my universe. I'm getting into it though. I'm trying. But so they said that they were going to cast and try to make it more like the books than the original movies were. And that was their big push. This is for the fans. This is blah, blah, blah. And then they started announcing diversity casting, which, of course, gets everybody up in arms, right? I think Hermione might end up being black. It sounds like Snape is going to be black. They mentioned the actor. I'm not invested enough to care.
If you make Snape black, that removes the question of whether or not he might be Harry Potter's secret father.
Yeah, see, this is the part that fucks me up, pisses me off so bad. Keep it to what the character was written. I mean, if the character was written as a white character, leave it a white character. I have no problem with black characters. Matter of fact, Put some black characters in, but don't rewrite a character
Right.
that's already written.
Which
That's
We don't-
also what I complain about when it comes to like I hate it when they redo a character as female and just do it like Spider Woman or blah
Right.
blah blah or something like that.
Well, it-
Just it's as if there's not enough out there where they can't make their it's something that's just wholly conceptualized from the ground up to be female, not
Gender,
just
if
stealing
it's
something else.
new and unique character, yeah. Like Spider Woman's a great example. Well, I don't even want to go into Spider Woman, but like recently, and it's old enough now, but like with the Gwen Stacy Spider Man that they did, that's a new and unique character. They didn't try to replace Spider Man.
Yeah, that's fine.
Miles Morales being Black Spider Man, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, that's fine.
But-
That's great. Matter of fact, I like that because he's a different character.
That's easily a subject I'd love to jump into, but that's not even the Harry Potter controversy. I mean, people are upset about Snape because he was described specifically one way in the book, and they're making him a very different way after they did this big, we're going to be better in the original movies and closer to the book, But the thing is
Next
just
thing you know, they'll be doing something to Snow White.
just this weekend.
What?
What do you say? What?
He said some shit about Snow White.
I said, next thing you know, they'll be doing something to the actor who plays Snow White.
They already lightened her up for the movie, The controversy was, and there's no way I can say it right because the news is not being politically correct about it.
Mhm.
But a 42-year-old male actor came in to audition to play Hermione Granger, the 10-year-old girl, right?
I'm seeing some issues.
Huh?
I see some issues there.
You do. Well, see, that's the problem because
Yeah,
most people see
because
issues.
you're all wrong, Ash. The dude identifies as a 10-year-old girl, and you're not respecting that.
Yeah. So
You're right,
here's,
I'm not.
here's the problem with it mostly is they're hitting it with the mixed bag. They said, anybody come in, we're looking for diversity, we're looking for new ideas, right? So, when what they meant was perhaps you can be gay, or perhaps you can be black or Hispanic, or you can be a female applying for a male part. We will do this stuff. But oddly enough, when a 42-year-old man came in, they dismissed him right away. They got rid of him first rounds of auditions. So it's a weird deal because the fans, they're like, yes, thank you for doing that. But a community, the LGBT community in a whole is like, now hang on a minute. Why'd you dismiss him so much? The other problem is that I'm having with it because I hate saying the cis white male thing, but I'm a straight white man in mid-America. And I have been taught that if somebody identifies as a female, we call them a female. That's their identification. Let's do that. Here you have somebody who's identifying as a 10-year-old girl, and all the news and even the people standing up for this dude, female, whatever, they're calling him a 42-year-old white male. They're not saying this 10-year-old girl came in addition. They're saying a 42-year-old white male came in addition. So I guess it's not okay that he identifies that way. You know what I'm saying? So that's the controversy. Is some people are saying you dismissed them too soon. So because they've opened up this Pandora's box, they can't win for losing. Either they dismissed him too soon and didn't give him a chance as a 42-year-old white male, or they did right by the fans and didn't hire him. So that's the controversy. I don't know enough about it. I've been watching it, trying to get some news on it. But man, it's a headache to watch.
And that's the problem is as soon as you start to show that a minority of individuals and it's not the individuals, it's the vocal individuals. It's not that minority of individuals, it's that ultra corner of that minority individuals who shout loud.
Yeah, the loudest.
As soon as you show that you will capitulate to that small handful of people's demands, you open yourself up.
Well, and just like any online forum, so there's always 3 or 4 people that rule the whole forum, because they're the loudest. And it's by no means am I shooting out controversy and saying I don't stand up for this, I don't stand up for that. I'm being the guy sitting back watching the dumpster fire happen and going, what'd you expect? I don't know. I don't know the answers, but don't pretend you know the answers. And then I'll point out, Max says Harry Potter is not your cup of fur. This is true. And Kelly said exactly, which Kelly, I saw you got patches at a bin store today. from Ghostbusters. I'm wondering what bin store. I'm very curious. I was going to ask online. Haven't had time.
Oh, hey, speaking of Ghostbusters, you go down the rabbit hole. I was watching this little TikTok and it was talking about Casper the Friendly Ghost, that movie.
Yeah.
Apparently, that's in the Ghostbuster universe.
Yeah, well, Dan Aykroyd in the original movie, he comes out and says, "Who are you going to call? Somebody else."
Yeah.
Very cute, and they say that that's in the Ghostbusters universe, which very well could be. I did a parody of it a couple years ago. I could post up on here later, but we did a Comic-Con, and I did for
The
Commission.
simple fact, it takes something far less than that. All it takes is a similar looking pizza truck for them to say it's in the Toy Story universe. All right. If you have an actual Ghostbuster coming down and getting ran out after trying to capture a ghost, yes, it's in the Ghostbuster universe.
Yeah, I mean they can say it's just a friendly, fun cameo, but no, they actually say it's officially in. And I did a cover. I drew a cover where Slimer was catching Casper in a ghost trap for Comic-Con that was auctioned off, because that was the joke we were all doing, is that Casper's a pussy ghost in the Ghostbuster universe. I mean, compared to all the other ghosts that exist within that universe.
Well, I would like to point out that he is a friendly ghost. So in that aspect, he is not evil or, trying to do horrible things, but he ain't no pussy. I mean, he ran off. He ran off the,
He
Ray.
didn't. His uncles did.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But they're kind of,
And who can handle his uncles? He can. So there you go.
There you go. So, man, I fucked up. You're right. Well, scrub everything I just said then.
All right, then. Okay.
Back to the Snape thing. I don't think they should. The whole new race thing with Snape really bothers me, because Snape was a really cool character. And when they rewrite characters and change their race, to me, that's kind of offensive, because then we miss out on real cool characters they could make that you don't have to change their race, like Spawn and Blade and Luke Cage. Those are all bad motherfuckers that we would miss out if they just said, well, there's not enough black people here. Let's make Spider-Man black. No.
What if
Spider-Man is black?
I was going to say,
what if Snape was played by Snoop Dogg? Look,
you almost got me there, dude.
He's got to think about it.
I was trying to think of some kind of spell, Smokus the Bolus or something, but damn it, I'd watch that parody. If that was a parody, I'd be all into it, man. But
why don't you just have Snoop Dogg come play another professor?
Well, there was the black guy that was, well, they barely used him. The black guy was in Harry Potter. He was one of the professors. I can't remember his name, but he was also in Flash Gordon. That's the only reason I paid attention, though. So that makes me a bad guy. But the whole, I was talking to Christy about this earlier, and the DEI thing that's been forced into Hollywood, because our government money pays studios extra money to include DEI, which some of that I can get behind. I'm cool with it on new movies, new projects, stuff like that. Like even an existing property like the new Ghostbusters, they've added in characters using the DEI, and I'm okay with it. It's just fine, because they're not shoving anything in your face like this character's gay and you better love it, or this character's black now and you can't say anything about it. Just add new cool characters that we love. Star Wars is a great example. When they brought out Episode 7, people were cool with Finn. Finn being a black stormtrooper, everybody's like, yeah, that's kind of cool. I mean, people joked about it. People were okay with Rey, a female, leading it, except for they Mary Suter. That was the problem, is the writing behind the character. They decided, oh no, she's going to be bigger, better. She can fly the Millennium Falcon better than Han Solo could, and she's never been in it. She can all that. He doesn't even need Luke to teach her. She'll just learn the Force on her own faster, no matter.
Yes.
It was too much. Give us new characters that are cool. For some reason, they shove this narrative down our throat that like geek culture or guys or whatever, we're not cool with female characters. We all love Ripley. We all really anything.
Sarah Connor. We all love her. I mean, come on.
Laura Croft. Tarna. Yeah.
Laura Croft. I mean, I love me some 8-bit boobs.
Yeah. But I can't think, and I might be wrong. I'm not trying to start a fight here. I'm genuinely asking the question is, I can't think of an existing property that they added DEI into like Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, any of the shit that they added in, and it made it better. Where you're like, oh, that makes more sense now. Or
Well, like in the new Lord of the Rings stuff that's on Amazon, the black elf that's in there, that's cool. I don't see why elves shouldn't have any different skin tone that human beings. We're all human and we have different skin tones. Why not elves have different skin tones?
well, and
I'm fine
and
with
I'm
that.
not even talking like a specific character making it better. I'm making it where the movie is now better. Like, oh, we're gonna recreate, like we're revamping whatever. Like right now they're doing Running Man.
What was it? It's Forgotten Realms. I don't think they'll be able to do Drow, because if they try doing Drow with white guys, that means everybody's gonna be wearing blackface. And if they try to do Drow with black people, then they're gonna say, "Oh no, now you're just saying black people are all evil."
That's a point.
So I think they might have painted themselves into a hole there.
Well, there's other things like that really bug me when they take a historically, well, not that any of the Viking shows were historically accurate, but when they start making black
Come on,
Vikings,
Eric the Viking. Fuck!
Yeah.
Don't tell me that wasn't
A
right.
good example of that would be that Cleopatra documentary they did a couple of years ago, which
Yeah.
caused all the issues. Will Smith, Jada Smith's what?
Yes.
Jada Smith did it right,
Right.
and did all the claims of Cleopatra was black and all this.
She was
and,
Greek.
But yeah, I know, and that's the big fight to where she's getting sued all over the whole thing.
Yeah, when they change history,
That's the problem.
if
That's a
you
big
want
problem.
black characters in a movie, say you have a Vikings movie, don't make black Vikings. That's insulting. Put some Moors in there. The race Moors.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Not some more, just
Yeah.
the beautiful
Yeah,
campfire snack.
Yeah. But put Moors in there. They were some bad sons of bitches, and were in places where Vikings were at times. They were shit. They ran Spain forever and ever. They were in.
Oh yeah,
in
that whole Iberian Peninsula was all them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hell, the Vikings made it all the way down. They were laying siege to Constantinople. They sacked Paris. I mean, the Vikings were all over the place. You could put them just about anywhere. But yeah, no. It's like what was it? The Wheel of Time series.
Yeah.
All right. Didn't give a crap one that they changed the races on those characters. Didn't care. All right. I just didn't like how they rewrote everything and tried to make it a sexy, Game of Thrones competitor.
Well, I can get behind race swapping, gender swapping, even I can get behind like they're going to take a character that didn't used to be gay, make them gay now. Like a great example, I'm a big Scooby-Doo fan. They made Velma gay. I could give two shits.
It kind of breaks my heart because I got this fantasy about Velma.
That was a whole topic this weekend. I've already talked to my wife about too. But I'll talk about that in my geekasm. But the biggest problem though is they change the characters' writing around them when they do that shit. It's where I've got some friends I've been friends with for years. Some of my friends with them didn't even know they were gay because we never talked about sex. We talked about gaming. We talked about whatever. Didn't matter. Velma could be one of those characters. Sure, you'd have a fantasy or whatever, but I never went, oh, I'm going to nail that someday or something. So
No.
I know.
Okay,
that's why I never did that. If she was
but
real,
I did try to get my old lady to dress up like her. So that's a whole other story.
But like Velma's a good example because now since she's become gay, they've started writing her a little different and they're drawing her different and giving her a little bit more of a Karen-like attitude, which bothers me. And it's like she was never Velma. It's not her anymore.
Yeah.
Well,
another character.
The question is why do the people writing it feel that a gay Velma would be more of a Karen?
Yeah.
Why couldn't she have been gay before with her previous personality?
I think part of it is they were trying to make her not so timid, like trying to update the character, but that timidness is part of her character that people like. I mean, it's a cartoon character. She doesn't need to be super developed or anything. If you're already making the issue with, oh, she can like guys or girls, which she does, let that be.
She wasn't timid. She was oblivious at times because she was hunting the science of it, but she was never timid.
She was timid.
She was
Scooby and Shaggy for that.
When it came to relationships, she was timid.
She was also non-exposed. So her what she has scene of the world was in a book. It wasn't. She wasn't exposed to the world in a greater way. She wasn't very worldly. So there were times where she would be timid, but that's because she didn't know what to do because she'd never been in those experiences before, and she looked at it through, like you said, scientific eyes.
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
I was looking at it more with-
She was like me. All right, as we've often joked, if we were to be living through a horror movie, I'd be offed very quick because I'd be the one going, "No, that noise outside, that's just the branch in the wind. Here, I'll go check." All right,
Yeah.
because I'm a fucking idiot like that.
Yeah, I'm lazy. I'd be, it's just a noise. That's just a branch in the window. Daryl, go check.
What did Berto say there?
Oh, Berto's on. What do you say? Every content creator I know was very happy Velma was gay. Really? Yeah, I think he's being very sarcastic, but like I said, I could give a shit whether she was gay or not. I was more offended at the Velma series on HBO because the writing was so bad.
Yeah, that was just an insult. No, my whole thing is that I never even, thought about the sexuality of any of those characters except for Shaggy and Scooby. I worried there, but the rest of them, I had, I didn't care.
Really, I think everybody wondered if Fred and Daphne were hooking up when he would say, "Daphne, come with me this way," and Shaggy maybe.
But I didn't
Velma.
care.
I never thought of Shaggy and Scooby hooking up though. Just saying.
Well, it takes Daryl's noise.
He's giving him a Scooby snack.
Yeah.
No,
Daryl,
but it's like,
man, if I got my dog high enough, I wonder.
it's like the other day, somebody had posted up, because I've got a Chevy Trax and I'm on a forum group with them, and somebody posted up, is this just a chick car? Or is this for guys too? And I couldn't help but respond. I've never operated my vehicle with my genitalia, and if you are, I think you're doing it wrong.
Right. I think that's the problem with a lot of the DEI stuff. Like I say, it's that writing. It's not even. Sometimes it is the casting. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of it's the writing when they fundamentally change what the character is. Again, Ray, I would have been just fine with Ray, except for they just made her too perfect. She's just too fucking perfect.
They had to top
a story arc.
All right, they didn't have to, but they felt they had to top Luke. All right. And Luke was the one that theoretically was the one prophesized about to bring, the Force into balance. And, but then they decided they needed to top that. So they had to come up with Uber Luke, sandier planet, deader parents. All right. Bigger Death Star. They had to top Luke.
I almost said, how could you have deader parents? But really they did. It's deader parents. It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyhow, we've already been talking 20 minutes. I really just wanted to talk about the Harry Potter 24-year-old male audition thing. I didn't want to jump in a big DI. I mean, we could probably talk an hour on it, but we will. There's plenty of gaming stuff, and I really want to hit this D&D stuff if we can.
I just got one more thing I want to say about the race thing. In historical movies where they change that stuff back again to the Vikings and the Moors, it really bothers me because they're selling themselves so short. There's so much real, actual history that really did happen that they can put out for people to learn about instead of saying, well, let's just make some shit up.
Yeah. I gave up on it. When one day I was walking through the living room and Jessica was watching some period drama on the court of Louis the 14th, it was all about Versailles and all the stuff like that. And I was walking through and I'm like, is this supposed to be French? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, then why are they talking with English accents? Shouldn't they be talking with French accents?
We see that as foreign and cultured is what we see it as. That's why English people are villains in Bond movies and shit. We're like, oh, they must be smart then, or we are prejudiced fucking people. So
I want to know what Americans go over to English movies and speak with an English accent over there. Do they allow Americans to do that the way they allow allow English people to come over here and speak with an American accent?
We have some people that do that here. They'll speak English. There'll be Americans speak English in movies or British in movies, British accent. But I don't know that you could get away with that over there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and why? Why does Thor speak in an English accent, although he's Australian.
Well, Thor's not
Thor's
Australian.
not
The actor
Australian.
that plays Thor is Australian. Thor's Asgardian, pronounced slightly different.
Yeah,
So-
and that at one time was a suburb of New York. If
And-
you don't know,
And the general, again, we're all prejudiced. The general people here go, oh, they're dressed like knights and shit with hammers and swords. That's like castles with King Arthur and shit. They're British, right? That's it. And that's it.
Yep,
We're fucking bad people.
we are. But anyways,
Oh, I wanted to play devil's advocate on that though, even though I wanted to move to a different subject. So you said,
okay, cool.
you said, like them changing history. And I'm going to put Cleopatra up there as like a
Right.
perfect example. So what about like Braveheart? That was terribly historically inaccurate,
yeah, it was.
but it got me more interested in studying that shit to learn more about it. What about that? Is
well,
it
at
okay?
least they had an Australian playing a Scotsman instead of a Chineseman.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there again.
Well, I mean, even the history of that movie was just
yeah, it was awesome.
all fucking over the place.
I mean, some of the battles were semi-accurate. That certain things happened, but
I got into
it was Jack.
discussion with my mother-in-law, not my Jessica's stepmom. I got into a discussion with her at one point because it was about the time that 300 came out. All right, the movie 300, and
Terribly
she,
historically accurate on that one. Too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure it was.
but and that was her thing, is because she was a school teacher, and she's like, oh, I hate that. That's the I hate it when they do non-historically accurate history pieces. That was just so wrong. I hated it. And then not 5 minutes later, she's gushing about how much she loved Johnny Depp in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
And I looked at her, I was like, that's not historically accurate at all. She goes, yeah, but he's good looking. I'm like, fuck, I'm done.
It does show you the little bit of delay we have on here to everybody else because Berto had put up point of order. King Arthur was originally a French tale. Correct. I was just looking at again. It just shows more of that prejudice though, because we look at it, we know just like Pirates of the Caribbean. You know how many people we've studied our pirate shit. You know how many people just look and go do that. Arg, matey, let's walk the plank and all that shit. All that shit's from movies. Almost everything people come talk to about is not historically accurate at all and from movies. So like the King Arthur accent thing, that people look at that and they know surface level, so they make assumptions.
Walking the
And-
plank was a myth too, but keel hauling was very real and very terrifying.
One of my favorite things about with the French bringing that over to England, they brought over that old prophecy, but that old story. But the thing is that I love it to tell people is that our entire words that we can say and words that we can't say, ooh, this is a bad word, that is all predicated on the English aristocracy, which was actually French when they invaded, all right, and took over, England for a couple, centuries. They tried to impress upon the English that the higher ups would speak French instead of English, and that's the reason, that Latin and French words for anatomical things are considered appropriate. But to this day, you can't say the English versions of them because those are considered coarse and rude. You can say feces instead of shit. You can say, just along those lines, breasts. You can say that, but you can't say boobs or tits. Those are English words. So our entire concept of what is good words and bad words is all the French coming down on us once again.
Pardon my
Damn French.
Fucking
I know they haven't given us anything good since the Statue of Liberty or French fries.
They
Other than
didn't
that,
give us French fries, fool. They come from Belgium, actually, in case you didn't know. But
So-
the American soldiers during World War I mistook them from being from France since they were in Belgium, and Belgian people speak French.
did you just pull a well actually? on
Well,
us?
actually, yeah.
Okay. Well done. Let's hit our geekgasm because we're halfway through the episode and we haven't even had anything up. We're going to talk about Tsunami Con shit. And we should just have Berto Skyping in on this too with a live feed at some point because half the time he's got comments, it's just like, oh fuck, I was going to say that, or yeah. So we all went to Tsunami Con last weekend, gaming convention here in Wichita. Had a good time.
Great time.
It was
It was
Mikey
great.
Mason was there. We did a live feed from there. Ash came up. It was a lot of fun because we had a lot of wags there, old and new. Like it was you, me, Mac was there. Kalen was there.
Bones
was there. Isla was there. Frankie was there. Billy came out. Like tons of us, and we gamed together. We hung out together. It was nice. And the only performing we had to do was Drunkards and Dragons, which
we really weren't performing. That was just us.
That's us. That's us gaming, and we didn't even have to do the work. Mikey Mason put the whole adventure together, and so that was it was a real good time. Saturday night we weren't originally doing Drunkards and Dragons, but it ended up being really good. Frankie couldn't drink, so we used a stunt liver out of the audience. Had a good time with it. We'll plan on doing it more. We're going to try to take it out, do some other events.
Battle of Sterling Bridge. I love Burrow. Yeah.
Hang on. Before I get to it, okay, I'll read that here in a sec. Which did bring me, and I'll just hit right into my geekasm. It's a little humble brag, but it's also we got to hang with our buddy Mikey Mason this weekend. He did a game for the VIGs, which is the Very Important Gamers, and he did it with a lot of my favorite subject matter. So he did it from the West End gaming system of Ghostbusters. So the game was based on the Ghostbuster rolling system set in the Scooby-Doo universe. So the Scooby gang driving along, and they come to a broke down pirate ship on the side of the road. It is mid-level.
Please tell me that it was an old attraction.
No. It was my pirate ship, and they run into, just like how they run into Comedy Star. The
Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah. But they always have like some title with them or something. So I was mid-level or mid-tier Renaissance pirate performer, Littlebeard.
Yeah.
They didn't call me Littlebeard the whole show. They called me mid-tier pirate performer, Littlebeard, blah blah blah. So
you want a business card, don't you?
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna make a button. It ended up being a great game. They had to get me to my gig on time. I didn't even get to play Littlebeard. I watched the game and heckled from the sidelines. So one of the people that paid to come play the game played me. And the gig was at an old vaudeville theater
with the Muppets.
Yeah, it was the Muppet Show. So then the Muppet Show were there trying to help them solve their ghost problem, which really was just a ploy to keep us busy while they set everything up to sacrifice us and the Scooby Gang to Cthulhu. And
as one does
at the end, it was great.
Mikey Mason does such good voices, and he was doing Kermit the Frog as the main priest at the Cthulhu.
I can't do it. And he'd do Miss Piggy flirting with guys in the group and stuff. So Miss Piggy had it all in for Fred.
And then he had Beaker and the Professor and the Swedish chef.
Yeah, and he'd do all the characters, and it was hilarious. And even at the end, when they summoned Cthulhu, the chant was "Ma-na-na-na, ma-na-na-na," and then the whole crowd started going "Ma-na-na-na," and it was like, and of course Cthulhu's coming. It was a freaking blast, and somehow it ends up with me popping out of Miss Piggy's chest like a alien face hugger deal, and Beaker and everybody getting blown up. Scooby and Shaggy disguise themselves as Muppets and almost die in the explosion. And it was just a blast. And nobody could drive the van except for Fred because it's his van. It was just it was a good time. But that would be my geekasm this weekend, hanging with them, getting to play that.
I enjoyed just hearing about this. Perhaps this is something you guys should think about doing on like a virtual thing, and do some gaming with that.
We're talking about maybe taking this Drunkards and Dragons prototype show that we're going to be selling to conventions up to the borough and doing it up there with some of our Concast crew. The people would come up and watch the Concast show and stuff, so we can film it and have some clips. I mean, I filmed last weekend's thing, but even in a 2-hour session of people getting drunk and doing stuff, you're going to get 5 minutes of material you might be able to send to a convention because everybody's going nuts and but it's a good time and all this weekend. So that was my geekasm, and I would say my review on the con. If I were to say anything about the convention, Man, everybody was so welcoming there.
Oh yeah.
Nobody gave a shit about DEI shit. Most of the people in my gaming party on Sunday didn't swing my way, and nobody gave a shit. If anything, we joked about it. You didn't worry about that shit there. Everybody was welcoming. Come game with us. Come paint with us. And the saddest part I have on it is the way con culture and gaming culture is, especially in Wichita right now. Like a lot of the gaming people just didn't come out. Some of them did, but it's like everybody segregates so bad. And I would like to see more support for that event. And I just putting the word out there, even if you guys don't game and you want to add other stuff, they need the attendance to grow. Because right now it's one of those events they do just to make us all happy. Like sometimes I wouldn't be surprised if they go in the hole just to have the event so we can all get together and game. And we have been racking our minds because we have such a good time doing it there, what we can do to try to help bring people in the door. Because like Comcast is probably going to be sponsoring, we're looking into the sponsoring of a modeling and kit contest there for miniatures and kits and stuff. The WAG sponsored Mikey Mason coming up this year. I think it's an event that even if stuff that's not totally game related, if people have ideas or want to do stuff there, I think they would be very accepting and open to that.
Is the winery going to have to help sponsor the Drunkards and Dragons with some alcohol?
Amen, brother.
They kind of did with one bottle this weekend.
Good.
I gave it to Mikey Mason because last year
he doesn't like honey.
I gave his wife a bottle last year.
Oh.
And he's been itching to try it, but he's got to wait until she's in the right mood. And now he's really, really wanting to drink it. And he's like, I can't. There's never a time her and I both want to drink at the same time. I can't open her bottle. That's her bottle, damn it. So I sent one and said, open it. Let us know what you think. I think he's probably going to try it out, like maybe on a New Year's live feed he does or something like that.
Oh, good. I hope it's good.
Yeah.
I had fun at the convention as well. I really, I enjoyed the free painting classes that were given out by the MeepleCon people. That was really good painting classes. Matter of fact, I've got my 2 little miniature. I mean, they give you free miniatures. They give you the paints. They have free painting stations. Anybody can come and paint anything at any time. They're really cool people.
Hey, Daryl, I don't want to interrupt you too much, but Kelly just commented, if I knew how to game, I would be down.
That's where you
that's what Daryl's talking about right now. They like him going in, they're teaching him how to paint. There's classes everywhere. Hell, we learned how to game there. Like we tried out new games this weekend,
2 of
and
them
they teach them to you.
Yeah.
So if you want to
3 if you count the Star Trek one.
Oh yeah. Hey, by the way, the Enterprise blows nuts. These nuts, dude.
Federation sucks. Cowards. Okay, go ahead.
Damn straight. Damn straight.
This one for Jean-Luc too, Bubba.
So I just want to comment on that because you were just talking about doing a free class as he chimed in. So go ahead.
Yeah. And like my little geekgasm is this past week. You know how I do those kit cards?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I finally designed my own kit card, and so it makes a Romulan bird of prey.
Oh, that's too cool. See, that's
so
the thing I really struggle on. I'm trying to work on designing things, but designing something from scratch like that. Yeah.
The hardest part is learning how to use the software. That's the hardest part.
I just need to come hang out one weekend and you can teach me some of that shit.
I'll teach you so much. You call me Scoutmaster Steve.
Will you?
Yeah. Hey. Can I come?
Everyone will.
Phrasing, damn it. Okay. Look at Jeff.
Yeah, about had one right there, man. Let me tell you. I got to play a couple of really cool games. I got to play Bolt Action. And
I know you guys were going to go try that.
Yeah, it was great, man. It was reminded me back in the days, the strategy of it, back to the old Warhammer 40K, the old Warhammer games we used to play without all the extra bullshit.
And, all the extra, you got to buy this, got to buy this, got to buy,
It was really fucking cool. You know, right on Bolt Action, guys, if you're watching this. But I would highly recommend playing Bolt Action again. And if I wasn't working on a game that I've been trying to write for a year, I would get into it, but shit, I don't have time for that. But I played another game.
I was going to say, speaking of games, people tried to write. Jamie and Isla showed up with
yeah.
Brothel Quest too,
Yeah.
and those guys going to play Brothel Quest.
That was really
which is
fun.
a card game that some of our fellow Scalawags made that they're going to probably be producing next year. It sounds like. I mean, they had nice looking cards. It was cool. Go ahead.
And then,
those good for 'em.
I ran into a friend of mine I haven't seen for several years, Kira Cortvalis, and her significant other, James Gallegos. And we all got to sit down and play Freelancers, which is a Crossroads game. And there's 2 Freelancers Kickstarters that are going on now. The game was really funny. It was really cool. It was very, very simple, very, very easy to play, especially with James DMing it for us. But it's a game that uses a computer app, and you, with decisions you make, like a choose your own adventure game. You roll up characters and you have this choose your own adventure game. You push whatever your decision is, and it comes up with a whole nother bit of script that it actually reads to you if the speaker's loud enough. But James had to read everything to us.
So in other words, you wouldn't need a GM. The app is your GM.
Oh, cool.
It's not AI, but it is.
It's a choose your own adventure.
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
a choose your own adventure, really. Yeah, but
I mean, it's on rails, but it's a fun railed game.
Yes, fun railed game. Better than a board game.
A lot of comedy.
Yep, a lot of comedy.
Well, in that case, it was a fun game about being railed. What? Sorry, Jameson. What?
It's an oxymoron. It solves itself.
But when Daryl talks about games being railed, those are not videos we can show.
Hey, all I'm saying is I got the merit badge for completing Pornhub. Go ahead.
I found the end! Yay!
Another game you were chatting with was the Dungeons or
Castles and Crusaders.
Castles and Crusaders, which is a Dungeons and Dragons like game. The company was there set up promoting the game, and they go to different conventions, and they've talked to Cookie and us about taking that and test playing it. They said, we'll send you guys to conventions, drive you out there, pay your way. If you guys just go play the game with people, it's like getting paid to go play a role-playing game. And they gave us a couple hardback
players
handbooks and stuff to start getting affiliated with.
Those are not cheap anymore, man. Those things are expensive.
And I threw all that at Cookie and said, go, buddy.
Yeah, I'm kind of eager to talk to him. I'm going to get through the player's handbook. So far, I mean, when I was talking to the guy, everything is compatible with first and second edition D&D. So if you still have some of your first edition shit that you just fucking loved from back in the day, it can seamlessly come right in and blend with this game, so it's almost like a re-release of first and second edition.
Let me tell you, Roberto, I had the boys play the Star Trek attack wing this weekend, and
it was boys, he means us.
Boys. You the boys. All right,
boys.
You the boys. And it was just that beginner set. I got it cheap. I got it for like $30 some odd just for that beginner set. Now, if you wanted to purchase entire fleets and stuff like that, you're looking at hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Some of the more eclectic stuff is, like $500 a piece anymore. But, and this is the thing that's irritating me is just like, Warhammer.
Genie.
No, well, what they did is now that they've basically put out everything that they have for the Star Trek Attack Wing, they've stopped supporting that now, and they're coming out with a new. Basically, it's a reskinned Star Trek Attack thing, but it's Star Trek Unknown or some shit like that, and the beginner set for that is $150.
Yeah, it's most Warhammer box sets anymore or that way.
It's crazy.
Yeah. You get $300 box set, no problem. Back in our day, when we were all gaming all the time, $40 box sets, man.
Yep.
But in fairness, back then we're like, God, where am I going to come up with $40?
Well, shit, I remember when you could buy that first box of Space Marines, and there was 36 Space Marines in it or something. You could buy that for $30.
Yeah,
but I literally at one time I had 200 Space Marines. Now to buy that now, Jesus Christ.
Well, with D&D, remember back in the day where all you needed was the red box set, the beginner D&D red box?
Yep.
All right. That's all you needed. That imagination on a piece of paper. But no, apparently they couldn't make enough money on that, and so
this bleeds into this story I got on D&D real bad because fans are revolting on it. But
what?
well, here, I got 2 news things I want to talk about. 3 if you count the Harry Potter we already bitched about for. But one, today they announced, and I just wanted to say we've been talking about this for a couple months now, but they announced and people are acting all surprised. But
you have the cube, you bastard! Sorry, go ahead.
What? The Spider-Verse, Sony Spider-Verse, Kraven the Hunter comes out. It's looking like it's not going to do well at all. They're going to lose their ass. So they officially announced that they are ending all live action Spider-Verse movies. So all the Venom, Madam Web shit, all that gone. And
wow.
We knew it was coming.
Why are they killing the Venom?
Well, Venom will come back in the Marvel universe. So we're going to see Venom in Marvel. But this is what we were talking about last month, where they Disney's pretty much going to license out all those characters now and bring them into Marvel universe because Sony just doesn't know how to make those movies. So, but it is official now. All the stuff we've been talking about, and I just want to go good because so often we'll get other news sources, and then what you follow up on doesn't come to pass, and you sound like an idiot. That's one that we've been talking about, and it does. I took a couple notes on this one because I was looking up D&D stuff, and like you guys, do you guys know who owns D&D now?
I thought it was Wizards of the Coast.
Wizards of the Coast does, and you know who owns Wizards of the Coast?
Hasbro.
Hasbro, correct. So Hasbro has decided to pick up shop from their location in Rhode Island they've been at for like 100 years. And they're moving to Boston, which has already caused various issues.
Yeah, that's so far away.
Yeah, but it's and right now Hasbro is under big legal issues.
Going to OKC. It's so far away.
Yeah. Hasbro is under big legal issues right now because their stockholders are suing them for overproduction of basically what they've done is they've overproduced tons of action figures because they do Star Wars. They do pretty much walk into an Ollie's and tell me that's not all Hasbro. I mean, but you look at Star Wars action figures, they just pump them out by the tons, and then they overprice them. They don't sell, blah, blah, blah. So they've been overstocking and then underselling, and the stockholders are getting pissed off. And it's basically a way that they have scammed and lied to their stockholders. So they're under investigation for a lot of that and getting sued. Which
now these are the same stockholders that probably told them to produce the hell out of everything and make them more money. I mean, I hate stockholders.
Yeah. Hasbro, so they said, okay, we're not doing any more live action movies because they did Transformers 1 this year, which if you haven't seen it, best Transformers movie I've seen yet.
That's what Gabe said. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's my
I didn't even know what came out.
It's my second favorite Transformers movie. And you know, they're not making any more movies, which I just thought, Kelly, if you're watching, I know Mattel is He-Man. Shit, that's right. So because they were doing a He-Man movie too, but that was Mattel. They're selling off or pretty much punting off all the Power Ranger stuff. So they're sending it over to Playmobil. So Playmobil will now be making Power Rangers. They just did a big Power Rangers auction selling off tons of original, made like $3.5 million selling off all the original bunch of props and stuff, just washing their hands of the whole thing. So in all this, of course, they also own D&D. And so there's rumor, and somebody might know more on this because I've been studying a little bit on it, but I'm not there all the way. So some of what I'm saying to you guys might be speculative, but it looks like D&D could be up for sale. There's 2 main competitors up for it. One of them is Elon Musk. So Elon is in the market to buy Dungeons and Dragons.
Look at Daryl. He's thinking, oh no, D&D AI. Guess what? You're right.
No, I'm not even thinking D&D AI. As I always thought, okay, how can you have somebody who is, like the prototypical villain in a D&D campaign versus D&D?
Well, there's 3 factors fucking up the whole thing right now. One is Dungeons and Dragons being what they are. And this I'm not totally educated on, but they put out this deal like a year or two ago where you could buy a lifetime subscription to their online service that gave you everything up to like 3.5 for free. And then, they're recanting on that now. So even people that have bought it, they're saying, oh, no, you get a lot of it, but you don't get all of it. And what they're trying to do is push almost everything towards the online stuff. And in order to have access to everything, every person has to pay a subscription. So now instead of just a GM buying all the books and then your group playing, everybody's going to have to buy all the books.
I'm telling you, people, you need to switch over to GURPS. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's why this Castles and Crusaders thing is so interesting to us, because it's D&D before D&D became the shit it is. There's a reason that Gary Con does not fucking associate with Wizards D&D. Of the Coast on that shit.
Yeah, no.
So that's messing up. So it's people are real pissed off at D&D for that. I heard an expression when I was searching in this day was the woke is the new disco, because now to be woke is not cool. D&D is the one property they had, D&D and Magic the Gathering, where they dove into it hard.
Yep.
So of course that's something that Musk would jump in and pull completely out.
Now, I would like to state that D&D started going down that hole. Sorry, Roberto.
Wow.
We started going down that hole with Dragonkin. That's when they first started doing all the weird stuff.
I don't know Dragonkin. I've heard of it. I think I've seen some pictures, but I don't know shit about
the race Dragonkin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, but that kind of is
that was me. To me, that was them capitulating to people who wanted to be fringe things instead of sticking to basic humanoids. Well, that's them going down the hole.
It kind of came from Dragonlance, where they had Draconians, and everybody was like, "Well, those Draconians are cool. I want to be one." No, they're the bad guys, man.
Well, and that's the thing. A lot of stuff that originally started off being NPC only,
right?
All right. They eventually turned around and opened it up so people could go ahead and play it. And I don't know. To me, I just don't understand. But that's the thing. If everybody was the same, like I always say, if everybody liked the same stuff, it would be a boring world. All right. Everybody likes something different.
Well, on this Hasbro thing, it's not that Hasbro's hurting because they own about fucking everything out there, but they are stirring the pot, and they're going to pretty much mostly just like online shit now.
I saw that coming when D&D Online first came out. I saw that coming down the line, because as soon as they figured out that they could make more money than ever on a subscription service, because it's just like people who join the gym and never go. If you make it a small enough amount, $5-7 a month that's coming out of their account, they'll never frickin' notice, and you can just sit there and bleed people for hundreds of dollars a year.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So that's one of the big controversies there. It's not that stuff needs to sell, but they've broken so much of their properties now. People are losing interest, like just don't care. And it pissed me off because they're doing a big fire sale, selling off all this Star Wars shit and Power Rangers shit and Ghostbusters that they produce. They're not doing that because Ghostbusters are doing well, so they're making special things and raising Ghostbuster prices. So
I saw where going to auction was the green bug thing from Red Dwarf, the green bug shuttle.
Oh yeah, the original.
They used it. They said it was used in a couple episodes or something like that. But it was on a big flatbed, and they were taking it to the auction house.
Wow. Oh, so not the model, but the big fucking. Oh, cool. See, it's probably Heritage Auctions or something like that.
It's something in the UK. Yeah.
Power Ranger stuff. Yeah, I like watching some of those auctions every once in a while. Not that I can afford shit, but just to watch. What it goes for, or like with Flash Gordon stuff, there's one guy that pretty much buys most of the Flash Gordon stuff, and every time I just root for him to get it. So there's this definitive Flash Gordon collection that just is like everything,
If I remember correctly, the one that blew everybody's minds was back in the early 2000s when they auctioned off all the Star Trek shit, and people, and even Christie's auction on their, on their thing, they're like, oh, here's the original Enterprise used in the movie, and that was blown up in Wrath of Khan. Here's the actual big 6-foot model. We think it'll go for 20,000. All right. And then it was going for multiples of that. And like whole groups of people, of nerds out there were pooling together in order to be able to purchase just one thing. It was just, and that's when they finally realized, oh shit, maybe there's some money in this nostalgia stuff.
Well, a great example of that is Carrie Fisher's mom.
Oh, God, I forgot it.
Damn it. Why was my mind going blank? Because my dad even got to meet her in Vegas back before pop culture was a huge thing. And what she did is
Debbie Reynolds.
Debbie Reynolds.
Debbie Reynolds. Debbie Reynolds would go to these auctions and stuff and buy all this stuff they were throwing away. And she would just buy it and keep it because she thought it needed to be, like a museum and shit.
Curated. Yeah.
Curated. So
Liberace gave her a bunch of stuff.
Before we were even born, my dad met her, and I guess she was flirting with him or something. Took him to the warehouse, and so he got to tour the whole thing back in the day. Now back then it was mostly like Wizard of Oz shit.
And she didn't get mugged that night. I appreciate your dad's restraint for not mugging her.
Yeah, no. It was back.
She has the original ruby slippers, man.
I don't think she does anymore.
No, she's dead. Of course she doesn't have it.
She doesn't.
Well, okay, she did.
No, they auctioned again. Well, there's 2 pairs. One had gotten stolen and just returned like last year or something, and then the other just auctioned recently.
Yeah,
and went for millions or some bullshit. But
is Kelly talking about
yeah, the new Lord of the Rings cartoon is getting slaughtered.
Yeah,
which I hate to hear it because we were excited about that one.
Yeah, the writers of Rohan. It was going to be called Helm's Deep, but
well, yeah, we should see because there's a lot of shit out there that gets slaughtered that I enjoyed. Still, it's like that Transformers 1 got slaughtered because it didn't do well in the theaters, but the fans, like the true fans of the show, loved it.
There's tons of stuff out there like that. Rocky Horror Picture Show. All right. The original Batman movie. All right. It got slaughtered by critics.
Yeah. In fairness, both of those are pretty rough movies. I love them both tremendously, but they're rough.
Firefly.
Yeah. Firefly is awesome.
Yeah. It's awesome, but it was trash at the time.
Well, it kind of would have helped if they would have put the episodes out in order.
Oh, yeah.
Or even
they did everything they could to slaughter it.
Yeah, yeah. If you ever watch anything on that,
it was kind of sabotage.
Because to be fair, that's one of those series you introduced me to because I knew about it, and I think I'd like watched part of an episode once, but it just never was on at the same time. It's not like something you ever fell into. And I think I came over to your house. You're down in the basement. You're like, watch this, and I was sold immediately. And that was after it was canceled.
Yeah, that was back when we were in the duplex.
Yes, yeah. I didn't get into that series till after it was already gone, and it sucked. Now, I
didn't get into it until after it was gone as well because it was somebody when I was working at Cargill in the R&D facility. The lab head chemist, Alicia, she turned me onto it, and I was like, "Oh, what is this space?" Then I watched like an episode, and she's like, "Did you like it?" I'm like, "Shut up! I got more to watch. Shut up." Yeah, it was really good.
Now, I even remember the first Firefly scene I saw there. It was the fencing scene, where he's doing.
Oh yeah, I'm all right.
Right there already sold me.
Yeah,
shit. And that's one we should do sometime. Talk. We can do a whole episode on Firefly, easy. But if we do that, we should get Mikey Mason on for that.
Yeah, go Brown.
Oh, is this like how we were going to do the movie review on Pirates of the Caribbean or the Roman Polanski's Pirates?
I love Roman Polanski's Pirates.
Wait, were we going to do one, or are you talking about how we'd always sit down to do the review and then we would end up reviewing something else? Yeah.
The first time we sat down to review it, and then we went off on a tangent on Ice Pirates.
Yeah, we were reviewing Yellowbeard.
Oh, that was it. Yellowbeard.
Mark was there, and Mark had never seen like any of the fucking movies. And I try not to talk bad publicly on him, but damn it. He was never a geek till he hung out with us because every movie, everything like that, we tried to so we'd go. He'd never known about. So like we're going to review Yellowbeard, and he'd never seen it. So we're like, oh, well, it's kind of got that Monty Python comedy. So like, have you ever seen Ice Pirates? He's like, what the fuck's Ice Pirates? Oh, and then we end up reviewing Ice Pirates for an hour.
Yeah.
And so then the next episode we come back and we're going, okay, we're going to review Yellowbeard. And we said last time we ended up doing this. And in there we were talking, and it's kind of like how Kurt Russell's and everything, like The Thing and Escape from New York. Wait, you've never seen Escape from New York? Oh, it's so good. And then you review Escape from New
Big
York.
Trouble in Little China.
Yeah. And
You know
so
what
we
would be
have to
interesting?
review Yellowbeard.
If we went through our old VHS collections.
Yep. Which we
Found
still have
those
because we're
old-
idiots.
Yeah, I know. Same here. I don't even know if I have a VHS player.
I do, but they say those things go bad after a while, and I
They
haven't.
do. That's what I worry about. Because I've got Easy Wheels, directed by Sam
Yeah.
Raimi. All right.
Yes, you told me about Easy Wheels. I've watched little things on YouTube. I've never seen it though.
I've got Hardware Wars.
Yep.
Oh my God.
I've got
I remember watching that on HBO.
Blood of Heroes.
Yes.
Yeah.
They are re-releasing Blood of Heroes.
No way.
I just saw it the other day because I was telling somebody about it, and they're like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, with jugging and everything, it's another one of those where somebody doesn't hear about it, and you're like, "Oh, wait," and you.
Well,
get
that's the
something-
thing. I literally saw online the other day. Somebody there's actually people out there who are jugging right now. There's actual team juggers, and they're
used to
fighting
have
with each
heavy metal.
Well, yeah, but no, these people are no bones about it. Put the dog's skull on the post, jugging.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
heavy metal combat, we used to get in full plate armor. So
I remember.
cheating. It's very cheating, And but yeah,
Well, Juggers wore armor except for the Quick. Quick never wore armor because the Quick's got to be fast.
I think every post-apocalyptic event out there should have a jugging team.
Yes.
They should have a jugging team or jugging event, and they should definitely wear armor made out of tires. I mean,
Yeah. Which a lot of them do have that, but yeah. No, I'd love to do that, but that's what we need to do. Some more themed
I'm
episodes.
too old to do that now. I'd love to.
I mean, like we could do
I'd
one
want
on
to be the announcer.
like we could just talk about Rutger Hauer movies for a whole episode.
Oh yeah.
But like if we did Firefly, we could have Mikey Mason on here. He does the Firefly albums, and they do that Firefly concert or whatever once a year. That would be so easy. Hell, if we want to bitch about D&D for an hour, we get the Recounters Society guys in here and bitch.
Or we should play. We should
D&D.
bitch while we play.
Let's do that.
I'm down.
We just need to figure out how to properly film it.
My deal is, as much as I want a GM, and I really missed, like going and watching Mikey and stuff GM this weekend made me really want to jump back in the saddle. It just takes so much damn time to get everything
It's
prepped.
a lot easier now if you use AI to help you.
Oh my God.
This is
I
true.
love
No. Seriously. Because I was talking with Kaylin. Kaylin,
Sorry, Kelly asked what is
Blood of Heroes.
and I almost went,
Oh,
"You've never
Kelly.
seen Blood of Heroes?"
So
It's
There
a
it was.
movie from the 80s.
Joan Chin biting off somebody's ear. All right. Anyway, which really does happen in there. No, I was talking, Kaylin. I was telling Kaylin that I wanted to do a GURPS Star Trek RPG.
Yeah,
and he wants me to GM it for him and his boys.
Yeah. See, I'd love to play. I really want to play. My biggest problem is everybody invites me to a game always wants me to GM. So if anybody's playing, I don't want to say anybody. Man, I'm on board to go play.
Who out there remembers Gamma World, Star Frontiers, or Space Opera?
I don't know Space Opera. I remember Gamma World and Star Frontiers.
Oh yeah, Space Opera was one Nick and Damon and you played with us.
I may have that would have been when I was young though.
We we did an advanced Dreadstar adventure in Space Opera that was really kind of cool. Oh, I was Odie.
I would have been Skivo. That's my.
But anyway, as I was saying, I went with GTP. All right. And I started spitballing ideas back and forth with the AI. All I had to do was tell the AI what gaming system I was using and what my game world was. And from there, we spitballed it back and forth. And it gave, how about this and this and this? I'm like, I like idea B, but I want to do it over in this kind of thing. I was like, okay. And then after a while of bouncing that back and forth, I've got a full-fledged adventure ready. And then after talking to Kalen, and that was months ago, I put that together. I was talking after I got done talking to Kalen, because GTP now remembers stuff. I got back on with GTP, and I was like, "Hey, remember that adventure we were coming up with?" And it was like, "Oh yeah, the one." And it did a recap on it. This is months later. Did a recap for me. That one. I was like, "Yeah, I need to do an introductory one shot in order to get it in." So then, 20 minutes back and forth, I got the one shot all put together.
See, and my problem in writing, like I can come up with the adventure and the story, no problem. Hell, half time I can even ad lib that if I need. It's the I need you to roll up the NPCs or the characters if I got to do the characters for the adventure or something.
There are random character generators online, man.
Yeah, I know. It's just that I got to get online and do that. It's just fucking. There's just all this setup.
Random character generators will never be the same as a GM sitting down and writing up characters that have personalities that intermesh through different levels of the game.
You can use it as a baseline and go the stats.
You're right.
There.
But when you're trying to gut orc number 3, you're not concerned about what knitting hobby it has. Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Very, very.
Yeah. That's just generic bad guy shit.
We're just having a conversation that people are watching at this point. So real quick,
isn't that what all these podcasts are?
That's all they. Kelly, real quick, Blood of Heroes, Rutger Hauer movie from mid '80s.
Late '80s.
Apocalyptic future, and they I'm really dumbing this down, but there's a football kind of game, like instead of a ball, there's a dog skull. Everybody's in tire armor, and it was
89,
and they are fighting this. It's like a sports movie in the future, Mad Max style.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Without ruining anything or whatever. It's just a dark, gritty movie that was one of those fun sci-fi movies when you were young.
And it is so far post-apocalyptic. One of the things I liked about it is it's so far post-apocalyptic is that the apocalypse is just a legend now. All right.
Yeah.
Because it's so far in the past and everything is just back down to basically an Iron Age kind of mentality, even though they have all this refuse left over. But yeah, they just, and if you remember the crawl at the beginning, because it has a whole, this is how bad of a movie it is. I say that when Star Wars has the same thing.
It's cult classic. Flash Gordon had it first. They all stole it.
Yeah. But on the informative crawl at the beginning, it says, that the athletes are called juggers, but no one remembers why. And the actual game itself doesn't have a name. It's just called the game. All right. I just call it. They're juggers, but the game doesn't have a name. But they're called juggers. And I remember from the crawl, it said in there, nobody remembers why it's played with a dog skull. And
I've not seen the movie in a long time. Still passionately love it. I'm a little afraid to go back and watch it.
It's my first introduction. No, my second introduction to Vincent D'Onofrio.
Oh, he was in that. I saw a thing, not because I remember, because I saw a thing on YouTube that talked about it.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like going back and watching like Escape from LA or something. You're like, oh, I love this movie. And then you watch it and you're like, why did I love this movie? Oh, yeah, because it had Bruce Campbell in it. Yeah, sure. It's just one of those. So I'm a little worried it would be like that. But there's some I can go back. Like I can go back and watch Blade Runner, still love it. But I can't go back and watch Escape from New York and still love it.
I can.
It's a good movie. I enjoy it, but not the way I used to.
It's the same with me when it comes to Army of Darkness.
Oh, see,
I still enjoy it, but not the way I used to.
I don't enjoy it the way I used to, and this coming from a big Bruce Campbell fan, I like. It's a hipster of me. I liked it better before everybody else liked it and before everybody else quoted it, and it has been referenced in pop culture so many times now, or at least in the geek circle. Army of Darkness.
Oh yeah,
to where
what's that one where
it just
was in Revolutionary? What was the one in Revolutionary? The series that he was in where it was Revolutionary War era.
Jack of all trades.
Yeah, Jack of all trades.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
That Briscoe County
Briscoe
Jr.
County Jr. Yeah.
I've only watched like 1 or 2 episodes of that one.
Briscoe County.
His sidekick was the guy that played Shogun of Harlem in The Last Dragon. Show enough.
Yeah, that's another one they're remaking.
Are they
Yeah,
really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, they're going to make it more serious, though, they say.
Well, I hope not, because I love
the comedy of it.
Yeah, we just rewatched it. Me and Angie and Billy just rewatched it the other day.
I can't remember. You know who is supposed to play if the whole thing happens? Who's supposed to play Shonuff?
Who?
We're
James Michael
Sam Jackson.
No way.
Seems old for it, but I think he'd do well. Yeah. So.
Michael J. White is who I was thinking.
I don't. Oh, that.
Oh God, he would be so good in that.
Anyhow,
he is such a fucking.
I'm trying to remember there was one that Jessica and I quote all the time, and it was one of Chris Rock's first movies. It was like, what was it, Harlem Shuffle?
Oh, not Harlem Nights.
Harlem Nights was Eddie Murphy.
Eddie.
No, the one where he's going, how much for a rib? Just one rib.
Oh,
which one was
rib? That's that pimp with the goldfish in the shoes.
Yeah, which one was that?
Oh fuck! How about a little sauce? Just one rib.
Yeah. I guess I didn't remember that being Chris Rock, but yeah, it was.
Can you just pour some soda into my hands?
Yeah.
I so hope that one day we will be able to get those movies again, those just bad comedy movies that we used to get. The
Pootie Tang.
Mel Brooks,
I'm gonna get you, sucker.
Was it? I'm
gonna get you, sucker. Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
cool.
His role is as rib joint customer.
There you go. God, I wouldn't have guessed that was it. I remember that movie. I just wouldn't have guessed.
Well, that was the first one I saw, man.
Wasn't he also in Boys in the Hood? In Boys in the Hood, I suck your dick for a crack rock.
Don't remember.
I do not see him in Boys to the. I do not see
Boys.
No,
that
no,
was.
You're
Yeah.
Friday?
No, fuck. It was a bad gangster movie where they took over this whole apartment complex and they were making dope in there. And
Dread.
no,
I don't know.
Fucking damn near. Yeah.
All right, we should probably tie it up. We've been on for an
I'm
hour.
gonna get you, sucker. Thank you, Kelly.
What was that? Oh yeah, he got. I'm gonna get.
Yeah.
Sometimes it sucks, that little bit of delay right there too.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm ignoring somebody. And it's like, oh, let me jump back and try to. All right. Well, we should probably hop off. I'm trying to think if there's any last notes there. It is off season, so of course everybody, having happy holidays and stuff. The next event we have isn't until end of January, which is the Pirate Fest in St. Louis. And then I think after that, our next one's going to be hopefully Gary Con, which is the Gary Gygax D&D convention. The big one.
Yeah. So. Try to do a podcast from there. I dare you.
No. I don't even think they let cameras in there. I don't think.
I know. Probably not.
Yeah.
It's probably one of those ones where you have to put your phone in the bag kind of thing.
Yeah. Some of our friends that go there regularly, we got some fans in Iowa that have invited us down. And like when they go, they'll go game with the celebrities and shit. And he did. He went up to him. What did he do? He leaned over to him while Joe I can never say his name. Joe Magnanella, whatever, leans over to him and goes, you mind if I take a picture? And he said something like, you mind if I stick that phone up your ass or something like that? He's like, let's not do pictures. Okay, cool. And he wasn't mean about it. It's just he was in the middle rolling up characters. And he's, because when he starts his adventure, I guess he says something equivalent of, here I'm Joe the gamer. I'm not a celebrity. Yeah. I'm here to game. Let's forget all the other stuff. And that is it. There's no talking about movies. There's no nothing. It's just that.
So does Vin Diesel ever show up?
I've heard people like Vin Diesel and Henry Cavill. Joe's the only one I can think of that they mentioned that they saw there, but they had mentioned that they saw a number of them there.
Yeah, they did. I can't remember all the ones they said. They said 4 or 5.
I'm saying A-list celebrities because if I said other celebrities like different artists, like Elmore's going to be there.
Oh, Elmore. Yeah.
The general public doesn't know who that is, but to us, that's a celebrity.
And you're mid-level.
Right? I'm mid-level, so yeah.
Thank you, Mikey.
I remember mid-level.
I remember watching a little clip of Rosie. I think it's not Rosie Perez. Who's the Latino woman on all the Fast and the Furious movies?
Oh, she plays D&D.
Oh, I can't remember her name, but yeah, she's in the D&D movie. Yeah.
Right. But the thing is that, back when they were first doing the Fast and the Furious stuff together, all right, she goes over to Vin Diesel's house and he's like, oh, yeah, you like D&D too? And she's like, yeah. And he goes over and opens up a closet, and she said, and it was just books piled high of all these D&D books and all this stuff like that. And she goes, oh, you like D&D.
See, it's cool now. It's so weird. Yeah. It's cool now.
It is.
Because we grew up in that generation where, like, you got preachers yelling at us to not play it, and they wouldn't allow it in school. And
where the cops would stop us coming out of Dillon's and say, "You're going to burn in hell, boys."
Yeah.
And the worst part is that even though all this geek stuff is now cool, somehow I still gravitate towards the one geekdom that even the geeks still make fun of. I don't know how I do that.
Fair enough. Well, in fairness, Star Trek has had one of the most committed followings in convention culture.
That's because they're so nerdy, nobody else wants them, really.
I mean, we were all doing conventions back in the day, and one of the first things, I mean, before you saw Star Wars conventions, you saw Star Trek conventions.
Yeah.
There were Trekkies. I mean, it was one of the first big, like,
truthfully,
you got 501st, Ghostbuster groups, all that shit now.
Trekkies started doing all that shit before.
Mm-hmm. I should have waited until you pushed pause so you didn't have this shit recorded. But also because they are the old folks at the table, I guess.
And they are.
It's easy to make fun of because it's kind of like even Star Wars too. The 501st, I don't want to say make fun of, but it's kind of like that. Oh yeah, they've been around too long. They're too big. There's too many rules. We can play fast and hard. Like I remember when the Mando group started coming out, and they were like, 501st, you're like the old people at the table, and we can do our armor any way we want. We can do this and we can do that. But they realized they're not going to get near as much traction as they do if they just joined with the 501st, which they ended up doing,
Yeah.
So.
But, yeah. All I know is that the Trekkies who seem to have held out for the longest are the ones that are the most unique individuals. And I'm not speaking anything ill of them. They're all good people, but rolling in there, up until here recently, I was one of the youngest ones at the table.
No way. Shit, you're so old you fart dust.
I know. I'm so old. I remember when rainbows came in black and white. But not only are they old, but also they are very, very, very committed to it.
Well, you guys have an international connection with your groups. I mean, you have like Starfleet, like we have Ghost Corps, which is cool, but it's not like. Is
that a play on words? But go ahead.
You guys have a lot more structure to your fandom, I think.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm on Discord with people talking to other Trekkies in Australia and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's but you guys, like, even to become a member, don't you have to send in a application and all that shit to Starfleet?
Yeah, like they're going to turn anybody away. Yeah, you got to send in an application, and the membership fee is a blistering $10 a year. And I'm sure when they first put that out back in the 1970s, that was worth a lot more. But they haven't raised the price, which, bless their hearts.
With us, you can get recognized as an official group and stuff, but it's not like it's you got to do like a mission statement and do a charity, things like that. If you want to get recognized, or you could just fucking do it,
If you want to have your own ship, all right, you literally have to partner off of another, ship, and then you're a shuttle for a break-in period, and they have all this stuff like that. But apparently that was such a sticking point that how many rules and stuff they put in the version of the rules that I'm reading now, they're like, okay, but here's how you fast track that shit.
Yeah.
All right. They're trying to get away from it.
Play the game we've created for you.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right,
they're trying to remove the gatekeeper status from themselves. So I give them that.
we should just do a whole episode. We get like Darman or somebody on here and do a whole episode on just reenactment groups. That'd
Yeah.
be easy. Because man,
We should do that.
we could tell you a lot of stories, just groups we've been in or groups we've worked with.
Yeah.
But all right, anyhow, it's nighttime. We got no upcoming events with the exception of those few things. There
We got Christmas right around the corner.
coming up, huh?
We got Christmas right around the corner.
Yeah, and really at Minicon, the main reason to even do it is shopping, Christmas shopping, which everybody's running sales right now. And I should throw up, just because it happened again this week, Wizards Alley got broke into again.
Oh, I feel bad. They got. Well, hold on. This is where they went for the
Cards.
went for the cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was just last week. Yeah. So they broke in, knew right where they're going, what they're getting.
And I'm sorry, but love BAM, love Wizards Alley, but down in that area where they're at, I'm sorry, but you really need to have bars on your doors and windows down there.
Yeah. Well, and their storage got broke into a couple months ago. Their storage has got it a couple times. So keep an eye out, just that kind of stuff. Hugs and kisses.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys later.
Oh,
wait.
TsunamiCon, love you.